What if I told you the British government is hiding immigrants on a floating ship in a tiny village? Since its arrival, the local community has been radicalised into racism and hatred. Having an Indian nan who emigrated to the UK herself, I'm curious to find out why.
What do you think about the barge?
Why are they here?
We can't cope with this, and it's totally unfair.
Certain cultures, they're allowed to marry at a young age, sex at a young age.
We haven't got enough fucking dentists, fucking doctors for our own fucking people. And yet you want to bring 500 more here to a little island called Portland that has nothing.
Once at capacity, the barge will house over 500 male immigrants, with as many as 6 cramped into a small room.
People like us over here, we ain't got nowhere to live.
Yeah.
And they're getting somewhere to live. I know it's not great and it's not ideal, but...
So you think it's not fair?
I think it's not fair, yeah. Some of them come out of prison, just on a sentence, to go there. What is that again? That's another prison.
My opinion, yeah,
About the barge.
is you to take that camera on my face.
Behind closed doors, locals had created an online hate group. Here are some of the comments. Wi-Fi throughout the barge to organise their next bombing campaign on us. Don't want 520 illegal migration men that's tested positive for HIV. A high percentage will be potential groomers, paedophile migrants. Keep your kids safe. I'm not sure how I would feel if I fled my homeland for safety and this was my greeting.
What is the reason that you came here, man?
The main reason why I left there is because there are wars going on, lack of unemployment and everything.
Meet Mo, an escapee from the Cameroonian Civil War who had arrived in the UK on a dinghy. This year, 2,877 lives were lost making the same journey.
All of a sudden one day I decided to go on the boat, like sneak to the boat. That's the only way I could get to this country, so
He asked me to protect his identity as his family is still unsafe.
So what would you say like the response from the local community has been towards you?
They don't want people like me in this country. That's what I think. That's the thing. They're thinking like you might be a rapist, you might be a killer, you might be a criminal. Like too much ages as well. Like a lot of people say like go back to your country. We just want a normal life in this country. We're not here for problems or to cause any trouble to the country.
Fair enough, man. So what would you like? What would you like to be different from the government, from the local people? Like how would you prefer to live? You know.
I prefer to have a normal job, as a normal person. You know, I think you can't even do that like without a name, like without anything. You don't have a fingerprint like to come in on this country, so anything's not registered, so you can't have a job. So I'm just living on the street, like trying to survive.
How long have you lived here, mate?
Probably about 10 years now.
10 years. All right. So what is your opinion about the barge that has just recently moved into the port?
I don't mind it. It gets a lot of criticism, but it's something that hasn't really interfered with my life too much, to be honest with you. I've bumped into a few of them. They seem really nice people.
How come there's no women and children? Like, why is it just men? I feel like you don't know who these people are. They could be anyone. Like they could be rapists. You know what I mean? Like.
Do you think that 500 fighting age men will have a negative effect on the area?
Oh, I think it will, yeah.
You think it will?
Yeah, fighting age men. It may cause a few problems. I mean, if they're all seeking refugee status or asylum, they're likely to have that in mind and be well behaved, but no doubt tensions will arise and there will be problems.
I mean, if they're getting their papers checked and stuff, like they're not going to come out here until they've been checked. And if they're criminals, they're not going to be able to come out here. So they're just people.
I think a lot of the families will stop using the little beach down here because they're going to be worried. They can't let the children come down on their own. They're going to have to come down with them, and I suppose they're going to stop using it, you know.
Yeah, so the last question, if you was in the government right now, what would you do differently?
What would I do differently? Well, I'd get rid of all the lot that are in at the moment, because I think they're a bunch of clowns. Yeah,
Okay, alright. Wow, all this commotion for this tiny barge. My suggestion is, instead of venting frustration towards immigrants, let's question why the government is allowing this situation to happen. Share your thoughts below.